I caused 13 people to get fired, and I never admitted it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine this. A simple mistake, maybe a shortcut you take at work, suddenly just blows up. Way beyond anything you expected.
Yeah.
That's what we're diving into today. We've got this really raw personal account, basically a confession, from someone whose secret action directly caused 13 people to lose their job.
13 people, it's quite something.
Right.
Yeah.
So our mission here is to really get into the layers. The error itself, how simple it seemed, the kind of terrifying consequences, and then this quiet, heavy guilt that follows.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how a seemingly small, almost technical misstep can just ripple outwards with such a huge human cost.
Yeah.
We'll look at it from his perspective, the person involved, but also, the mechanics of how it happened.
And the impact, not just on the people fired, but on him, the one who caused it all and kept silent. So what does this mean for you listening? Well, it's a hard look at accountability, isn't it? And the weight of secrets, how easily a shortcut you think is harmless can just unravel lives. So let's set the scene. We're going back to 2017, mid-sized logistics company, Ohio. The source calls it a pallets and barcodes kind of life.
Mm-hmm. Pretty standard warehouse operation, it sounds like.
And our guy, the protagonist, he's 25, got that, post-college arrogance maybe. Thought he was a bit smarter than everyone else. He was the computer guy.
Right, the one who reinstalled Chrome once and suddenly became the IT expert.
Exactly, that kind of thing. And the system he was working with, he describes it as ancient, like Windows XP vibes, but uglier, used for data entry corrections.
So already you're seeing potential problems, an old clunky system for critical data. That's
right.
Well, that's a risk factor right there. It suggests the company maybe wasn't prioritizing its tech infrastructure.
Okay, so Friday afternoon, he's rushing, wants to get to a cookout. Red Bull's kicked in, music's playing. Standard end of week rush, right?
We've all been there.
And he has this tedious task, manually correct maybe 200 shipment delay entries.
Ugh, yeah. Tedious is a word.
So he gets this clever idea. Instead of doing them one by one, he finds this hidden admin panel. Not hacking, he stresses. It was just sort of unlocked.
Okay, so a major vulnerability just sitting there.
Yeah.
Not great system security.
Not great at all. He uses a bulk update feature.
Yeah.
Seems efficient, right? But here's the mistake. He unknowingly edits a field that was somehow linked to employee ID tags.
Wait, so the field for shipment data was also tied to employee records?
Apparently. How does that even happen?
Well, it points to really poor database design. Probably fields were overloaded, maybe used for multiple purposes without clear separation or warnings. So the system took his bulk update.
And thought what?
It logged it as 13 specific employees failing their mandatory safety checks. Not just once, but for weeks, because their IDs were linked to whatever data he bulk changed.
Wow. So it looked like serious repeated safety failures.
Extremely serious, like OSHA violations level serious, all from trying to fix shipment delays faster. It's a classic case of unintended consequences fueled by a flawed system.
And the fallout was fast. Corporate audits over the weekend spots these flags immediately.
Mm-hmm. Red flags everywhere, presumably.
By Wednesday, just days later, 13 warehouse workers were fired. Gone.
Just like that. No deep investigation into the system error, it sounds like.
It seems not. And the source makes it personal. These were fathers, uncles, people with kids in college, one guy whose wife had just had twins. Real people, real lives turned upside down.
And meanwhile, our protagonist, what's going through his head?
Pure panic, it sounds like. His stomach turned to cement, brain screaming, "This is my fault," but he's terrified. Losing his job, lawsuits, being seen as the idiot who messed up.
That fear is powerful.
Yeah. It paralyzed him. He stayed silent, watched them pack their things, said nothing. It's just...
Yeah, that conflict between knowing the truth and the fear of the consequences. And the twist. Management actually praised him for his diligence, for catching errors that the audit supposedly uncovered.
Oh, that's brutal, the irony.
He said every compliment felt like a knife, just twisting it. The guilt must have been suffocating.
Absolutely. And he remembers specific moments. Seeing one of the fired guys, Tim, in the break room, just shaking his head, saying, "I swear I didn't miss those checks."
Oh, man. Just imagining that scene.
It really highlights the human cost of that silence, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He couldn't take it eventually. Quit about a year later. Said he felt like he was carrying 13 ghosts.
And even now, 8 years on, the guilt is still there. He avoids people who even look like the guys who were fired.
It's not a loud guilt, as he describes it. It just sits there.
Yeah, in the back of your mind, reminding you that no matter how good things look now, you're the kind of person who let 13 people get crushed by your mistake and stayed silent.
That's heavy.
It really is. In his takeaway, the moral he offers. If you think you're the clever one cutting corners, sometimes you're not clever. Sometimes, he says, you're just the reason someone else loses everything.
A chilling thought. It makes you rethink every little shortcut, doesn't it? So, wrapping this up, this dive into one person's confession, it really throws the weight of secrets into sharp relief. Especially secrets with consequences this big for other people, you really see the ripple effect.
Definitely. If we step back, it asks bigger questions, I think. Questions about fear, obviously, but also about corporate responsibility. How much should companies invest in robust systems versus just relying on strict compliance checks after the fact?
Right. Is the focus on preventing errors or just punishing them?
And what's the true cost of silence, not just for the individual carrying it, but for everyone involved, for the organization's culture?
So, maybe something for you to think about. What stands out most to you from this story? Is it that crushing guilt? Is it the company's quick reaction? Or maybe just that deep-seated fear that keeps someone silent even when they know they should speak up? Lots to mull over there.
I moved into a camper van, and I think I've never been this happy in my entire life.
Pretty fascinating. A story about radical life change and really redefining what happiness even means.
Yeah, and our source material here is this really raw, candid Reddit post. It's from user ucoffee4breakfast92, and the title just grabs you. I moved into a camper van, and I think I've never been this happy in my entire life.
Right. Makes you stop and think. So our mission really is to unpack why. Why did this person feel like happier than ever despite, living in a van?
Exactly. And what can maybe the rest of us learn from it, especially if you're feeling a bit stuck or just curious about a different way to find fulfillment?
So let's get into the before. What was life like before the van? Post paints a picture, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. 32 years old, stuck in Dallas, corporate desk job. Soul crushing is the term they used.
Yeah, mentioned spreadsheets, endless meetings with fake smiles, a manager who was always circling back.
Sounds grim. And it wasn't just like, oh, I don't like my job. It was deeper. Waking up feeling like they'd wasted their 20s, their spirit just decaying.
That loop. Wake up, I-35 traffic, microwave meals, doom scrolling TikTok. You can see how that builds.
Totally. And then came the breaking point. It's actually quite vivid.
The car breaking down.
Yeah, in a parking garage. And instead of, calling AAA or whatever, they just sat there crying quietly, just completely done.
Wow. That's a catalyst moment, right? When the despair hits that hard, something's got to give.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just tweaking things. It was a total leap. They didn't just quit the job. They started planning this escape.
Which involved selling basically half their stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
I think they mentioned getting $20 for a cracked IKEA lamp.
Yeah. Small details like that make it feel real. But then the big one, draining their 401k.
Which, most financial advice would scream, no, bad move.
Right. But they put it really simply. Draining the 401k might be bad, but so is working yourself to death. It kind of puts it in perspective.
It really does. So they took that money.
And bought a rusty 2006 Sprinter van down in Austin for, $6,500?
Okay, so now they have the van. But the initial reality wasn't exactly #van life glamour, was it?
Not at all. They talk about burning rice on this tiny stove, the ceiling leaking, trying to use some $50 Amazon camp shower.
Smelling like wet socks. And that story about someone trying to sell them mystical healing rocks at 2 a.m. in a Walmart parking lot? Oh, my God.
Pure chaos. But here's the twist. Despite all that mess, that discomfort,
they felt free. Instantly.
Pretty much. There's this moment they describe boiling pasta at a rest stop in Oklahoma, watching the sunset and just grinning like a lunatic, genuinely happy.
It's such a paradox. The discomfort was there, but the feeling was liberation.
Exactly. And that paradox continued. Daily life wasn't easy. Sore back from a cheap foam mattress, freaking out sometimes at night, always having to find a public bathroom.
You're paying $6.50 in quarters at sketchy laundromats. Those little indignities add up.
They do. But the perspective shift is the key thing here. In the old life, bad Wi-Fi meant rage. In the van, if the solar panel dies.
They just shrug and go outside.
Right. Choosing scrambled eggs cooked outside and library books over DoorDash and doom scrolling. It's not about loving the inconvenience. It's about it not ruining your day, your mood.
That internal shift is huge. And it led to the biggest change, didn't it? The anxiety.
Yeah, this is maybe the most powerful part. They said their anxiety felt welded to my DNA, and now it shrunk to the size of a raisin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gone. Or manageable.
Seems manageable. They don't dread waking up. They feel okay, unclenched. Even being broke, jobless for now, maybe one flat tire away from disaster.
That's incredible. It really speaks to how much of our anxiety might be tied to the pressures of that conventional life they left behind.
And they're very clear-eyed about it. This isn't the Instagram version.
Right. They literally say, nobody's taking candid pictures of me dumping out my pee jug.
Exactly. It's raw. It's real. They acknowledge that maybe someday they'll want stability again, a proper shower, not having to wash dishes immediately.
But for right now, this unconventional, sometimes uncomfortable life is making them feel genuinely alive.
Yeah.
Happier than ever.
So the takeaway, maybe, for you listening, true happiness. Maybe it isn't always found in the usual places. Promotions, nice apartments, quarterly reports.
Yeah, maybe it's simpler. Maybe it's scrambled eggs, a crappy solar panel, and the freedom to park wherever the hell you want, as they put it.
It leaves you with a pretty provocative thought, doesn't it?
It really does. Is happiness about getting more stuff, more status? Or is it actually about having the courage to let go of what's weighing you down?
Even if letting go means embracing some discomfort, some uncertainty, and a path that looks nothing like the one you thought you were supposed to be on.
Something to chew on, definitely, wherever you're heading next.
Thanks for being with us.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.